I'm going to give my colleagues an opportunity for a second round, but Senator Risch has just joined us. Senator, if you would like to ask a question before we turn to Senator Manchin.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Cybersecurity is really important, and obviously this committee has overlapping jurisdiction with a number of other committees. Yeah, with everybody, I guess that's right. We're in Idaho, we're particularly sensitive to all this because of the Idaho National Laboratory. And the Idaho National Laboratory, as everyone knows, is the birthplace of nuclear energy in America, and it's been the flagship for nuclear energy really in America and in the world. Now the flag's going up for cyber, because at the INL they have some unique capabilities that really call out for them to be the flagship lab also for cybersecurity. This is the result of their decades of experience in control systems. Obviously, since it was the birthplace of nuclear power, control systems played a very, very important role as they went forward, building the 52 different experimental, or some experimental, some actual nuclear reactors that were built at the laboratory. Those control systems were critical. So they've got great expertise in that regard. Plus, they've got some test beds that are important. So the result of that is the INL is moving forward very rapidly in the cyber space. So I've got a question for Mr. Gates I'd like to ask and have him talk to us a little bit about the role that the INL and the other labs are playing in this regard. And as we know, earlier this year, the Cyberspace Solarium Commission released dozens of recommendations to better secure the nation from cyber attacks. Very important, because this is so critical in our infrastructure and everything else. The Department of Energy, national laboratories are playing a key role in this effort to move these recommendations forward. In Idaho, we have the Idaho National Lab, as I said, which is the only national laboratory explicitly mentioned in this report. And that, of course, is because of its expertise that I've just described, and also because of their outsized role and growing role in cybersecurity. So I guess the question I have for you, Mr. Gates, is that as Congress looks, as we all in Congress look to implement many of the recommendations in this report, can you please talk a little bit about what you think the INL, the role the INL can play in that regard, and the role that any other of the labs might play in that regard? INL certainly has a unique place and unique capabilities, but I'd like to hear your observations in that regard.
Thank you, Senator Risch. INL, it's in many respects, particularly in the area of control systems, it's a first amongst equals. Certainly, Caesar and the department, the sector relies on many labs. If you look at what we're doing with NORM, you know, there are 8 national labs that are collaborating on that project that will allow us to obtain high fidelity situational awareness on the grid. INL is one of them, but INL has really taken a leadership role on some of our critical programs. Citrix, for example, where we're going to be testing systems down to the component level to look for and eliminate vulnerabilities. That program, I mean, INL is best suited for it. Citrix was designed with INL in mind, and what that's going to allow us to do is push the adversary further out of the infrastructure using that and other programs. Citrix, centered at INL, is also going to allow us to execute the executive order. It's a key component to DOE's ability to implement 13.920. There are other programs. Just this year, I mentioned earlier that we sent a few Coast Guard cadets to INL for an intern program, and we think that's a model for how to get training into the hands of those who will be helping us defend control systems, whether they're controlling a weapon system or whether they're controlling part of the critical infrastructure. So that's just one of many programs. We rely on INL's expertise. Even in classified settings, there's work that's just uniquely suited for INL, but many of our other national labs, it's almost a superpower for the Department of Energy, our ability to rely on national labs to help us solve problems and then get them into the sector.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your reference there to the national security matters and also the classified nature. Sometimes when I'm home in Idaho, trying to explain to people what they do at the INL. I can tell them about some things and I can't tell them about others. But even the ones that are classified are incredibly important. So thank you for your work. Sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for holding this hearing, Madam Chairman. Appreciate it.
Thank you.